Welcome back to the season finale of Live on Bowen. Now, to end our series of excursions out of the studio, recently we sent our good Freud, Rob Lloyd, our Freudian slip maybe, our good friend Rob Lloyd out of what we believe is possibly the most haunted township in Australia, or should I say, Victoria. Seeing as we couldn't afford to send him interstate, that's where he went, it's time for a history lesson now and a lecture in everything ghostly. Check this out.
The historical township of Walhalla. A picturesque snapshot of life 150 years ago. It also inspires two trains of thoughts. The first,
I love gold!
During the 1860s, the township of Walhalla flourished with over 4,000 would-be gold miners taking up residency right here. Now these were fast and furious times. Oh yes, with Walhalla becoming one of the most cashed-up corners of the country. But 50 years and over 75,000 tons of gold later, Walhalla ran out of the one thing that kept it alive. And since 1914, the region has been frozen in time and become somewhat of a ghost town. Which brings me to my next point.
I see dead people.
With only 20 permanent residents and a long history of fires, floods and pioneering disasters, it's no wonder Walhalla is famous for having many unsettled souls haunting this isolated town. So, do you want some trivia on Walhalla?
No! God, please, no! No! No!
Well, you're going to get it anyway. To start, the name Walhalla is derived from the term Valhalla, which means Hall of the Slain in Nordic mythology. Ooh, creepy. Secondly, the longest mine in Walhalla was actually called the Long Tunnel Gold Mine. I know, now it sounds pretty dull, but just wait, okay? Now that record was actually overtaken by an even longer mine that went 8.5 kilometers, and that was called the Long Tunnel Extended Gold Mine. Whoever thought of that? Oh, genius. Thirdly, it turns out the late Patrick Swayze visited Walhalla in his youth, whereby he explored the Walhallian countryside and the history of the town. Well, so Wikipedia says. But this actually inspired him to do his most famous movie of all. And lastly, in 1998, Walhalla was the last mainland town to be connected to the electricity grid. So in the mid-90s, while I was at home watching the Batman animated series on my analog TV and playing Tetris on my Game Boy, everyone out here was using oil lanterns and using quills and dressing like Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman.
How dare you ask me that?
Sorry, Dr. Mike. It's a 2-hour drive from Melbourne to get to Walhalla, which is located in Gippsland's Baw region. And tonight we are tackling the Walhalla Ghost Tour, which is owned and operated by the local Heritage and Development League. Now I am here to make my own mind up as to whether this town is really haunted. And what better way to do it than Ghostbuster style.
Strange in your neighborhood. Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters! Who goes there?
Care for a match? answer honestly, why do you think so many people come take the Valhalla Ghost Tour?
Because they just don't know what they're going to get. They don't know what to expect. I don't know what to expect. Because we had 2 people tonight.
Yes.
Experiences, that was great. I don't always get that.
Oh, okay.
And these are things that I love because I'm just looking over to.
Well, the Ghost Tour certainly delivered on the stories, but we are yet to bust ourselves a fully fledged ghost. So it looks like I'm going to have to stick around and run my own tour. Come on, let's go. Dun, 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 dun. It's all right, it's just a bin.
And now our final conolosophy of the season is all about the effects of television. Here to affect you, for better or worse, is Michael Connell.
Thank you, Aaron. Yes, I've given up watching TV. And people, when I say that, people always go, oh, don't you like TV? No, I love TV. That's the problem. I was like an addict. You know, I realized I had to give up TV because I realized I was watching a lot of late night infomercials, or as alcoholics would say, hitting rock bottom. You know, like I just couldn't turn the TV off. I would watch TV all day and then it'd get about 2 a.m. and then all the infomercials would come on. I'd be like, oh, just hang in there, Michael. Just only another 6 hours till the morning news. All right. Like this is how addicted I was. I don't have acne, but I have watched the entire Proactive infomercial. Actually, that's a lie. I do have acne. Has anyone seen the entire Proactive infomercial, the end of it? No? If you've never seen the end, check it out sometime. You watch like 4 hours of the infomercial, and then right at the end, this creepy Japanese girl comes out, and she's like, you will die in 7 days. Scarily accurate. But as I realized I had to stop watching TV because I was wasting my life, right? Like all my friends, they all have these awesome stories that start with like, oh, remember that time when we were in London and such happens? All my stories start with, remember that time on The Simpsons? Like I have no real memories. Right? The other day I was almost hit by a bus. My life flashed in front of my eyes. It was just reruns of MASH. That's all I was getting, right? So I've stopped watching TV, and now I have a lot more time to be creative, to read, to learn a musical instrument, to exercise. You know, in theory. Don't actually do any of that. Right? The other reason I gave up TV was because it was kind of taken over my brain. You know, like I'm a comedian, I do a lot of weird gigs, to a lot of weird audiences, like this lot. Thanks for coming out. But I do the weird gigs, and then I'd be backstage thinking, you know, I should have a normal life. You know, like a normal 9-to-5 job, live in suburbia, hang out at a coffee shop. Then I was like, hang on, that's not normal, that's Neighbours. I was getting depressed because I hadn't heard from Toadfish. TV has just shaped my brain. Like, this is how much TV has affected my brain. Like, every 8 minutes, I have to stop and think about stuff to buy. Like, even in the middle of a conversation, I'll be like, that's great, hang on a second. I'll be right back after these messages. The other reason I stopped watching TV was that I watched The Wire, like every episode of The Wire. And now, everything's just kind of disappointing. Because The Wire is the greatest TV show ever made. That's a fact. And I don't know how, it's the greatest TV ever made, and I don't know how every review in like TV Guide isn't just going, yeah, it's good, it's not The Wire. Because that's what I do when I watch TV. I watch a show, I go, this is good, it's not The Wire. Like I will go home tonight, watch myself doing this performance, and I'll be like, it's good, it's not The Wire. I think that about every TV show. unless I am watching The Wire. And then I'm like, this is good. It's The Wire.
That was Michael Connell! It's time for a break. There's plenty more to come. You're watching Live on Bowen.
Coming up after the break, I cook up a storm with star of My Kitchen Rules and Coxie's Big Break, Lee Chan. Comedy from Simon Taylor and tunes from Susie Blue. You're watching Live on Bowen.